What is the effect of repeated 9-volt electric shock from a constructed buzz game on heart rate and blood pressure of male and female subjects when their hands were dipped in salt water?
If subjects are repeatedly shocked, then their heart rate and blood pressure will increase.
Start?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Okay. In this experiment, the independent variable will be the electric shock as well as the buzz sound. The dependent variable is the heart rate and the blood pressure. And the controlled variables are the amount of salt and the amount of water, 100 ml, as well as the time during which the hands are dipped in salt, which is about 3 seconds, and the time to do the circuit, which is 30 seconds, as well as 9 volts for the
Of electricity.
Alright, so for the materials that we used in this experiment, we used a 110 volt power supply, and we used salt water concentrated solution, and we also used copper wire, we used pliers,
Jumper cables.
and we used heart rate monitors and blood pressure.
We also used a ringer, electricity monitor, and a wooden surface, and beakers.
And we used a board for all of the apparatus to be placed on.
Okay, and for the procedure, we constructed a buzzwire game. So essentially, we created a circuit using the power supply, and we hooked that up to a wire that was not a completed circuit, and then on the negative side we had another piece of copper wire with a looper on the end, and the current was flowing through only when they connected, so the person would get shocked when the group touched the wire game. The conductivity was not strong enough without with just the electricity, so we had the subjects dip their hands in salt water for it to work. Yeah, that's it. The rules of the game were that the subject had their resting heart rate and blood pressure measured before playing the game and after. They also had to wet their hands into salt solution for 3 seconds with the first 3 fingers of their hand. Then they held the looped wire and the static wire, and whenever the looped wire touched the static wire, they'd get shocked and the bell would ring. The game went on for 30 seconds, and if they stopped, they had to restart, and if they took over 30 seconds, they also had to restart. The reason for this was we didn't want subjects to take too long or too short, otherwise their blood pressure or heart rate might not change.
These are the results for the systolic blood pressure before the shock and after the shock in boys. And as you can see there, the data isn't consistent, where those who had a lower blood pressure before the shock had a higher blood pressure, such as the first subject and the third subject. And there was also the reverse, where they had a higher blood pressure before and a lower blood pressure after. The data for the systolic blood pressure in girls before and after shock was also the same as the boys, where there was an inconsistency in the data. Those who had lower blood pressure before had a higher blood pressure after, and it was also the reverse.
The same inconsistency was seen for the diastolic blood pressures for guys and girls.
The heart rate of those who expected the shock to be weaker increased after the shock, but for those who expected the shock to be stronger, all had consistently lower heart rates without fail.
The data does not support our hypothesis, since heart rates increased and decreased according to expectations before the experiment. Thank you.